Welcome to Mine Explorers episode 78, where we are in beautiful Little Cottonwood Canyon in the town of Alta. Every year, hundreds of thousands of skiers come up here for the world-class skiing at Snowbird and Alta Resort. But 150 years ago, thousands of people used to come up to this canyon looking for silver. You can see the old mine dump behind us, and there used to be a whole mining town right here. It's now a modern ski village.
It's a bougie ski village.
It is. It's not as bougie as Park City, but it's a little bougie. Have you skied Alta? I love skiing Alta.
Yeah, Alta's great. Alta's great. The cottonwoods are gorgeous. I'm a big fan of Big Cottonwood, but Alta is awesome.
Little Cottonwood Canyon was mining. Big Cottonwood had a little bit of mining, but it's a little bit of a mining history episode, which we haven't done in a while. And, you know, just wanted to get out in the field, drive up the mountain. We are very fortunate in that we live just down the canyon, about 20 minutes away. So there used to be a beautiful mining camp behind us, and now it's a modern ski town.
Yep,
a little bit bougie, but good skiing, really good skiing. Great place to come hang out. So let's dive into the history a little bit. I'd love to get around, get a little B-roll, show some historical pictures.
Yeah, because Alta today is completely different than what it was 100 years ago.
Completely different.
And the reason why it's Alta today is because of what happened 100 years ago.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the history.
Yeah, so mining in Little Cottonwood Canyon actually didn't start with the silver. Back in 1863, mining was happening in Bingham Canyon. Patrick Connor's men discovered placer gold there, and they were mining there. But the mining up here was for quarry. They were quarrying granite at the mouth of the canyon for the Salt Lake Temple and for other buildings downtown, which was a massive project at the time. The Salt Lake Temple took decades to complete.
Yeah,
it was a
but
huge
it's
project.
Gorgeous rock, though. I mean, you can still see that today.
Yep, and they mined all of the granite here. They actually just did a huge remodel project and propped the whole building up and built a bunch of structure underneath it to make it earthquake proof. But there was a little bit of prospecting that happened here after Bingham Canyon started. But Alta was founded around 1865 to house the miners from the Emma mine, which is just down the hill from us, which was the big discovery in the canyon. The Emma, Flagstaff, and several other silver mines were discovered, and by the early 1870s, as many as 5,000 people occupied the area, which is probably quite a bit more than live here today. There's probably about 1,000 if I had to take a guess.
We'll have to find the census on it, because now I'm curious of how many people
I
actually
think it
live
actually
up here.
might say on the sign down here below where we parked, the elevation and the population.
So you just imagine like little houses everywhere up here and boarding houses.
And very small, not like the big modern ski cabins today. That'd be little boarding houses packed together.
Hopefully not in the Avalanche Pass, but some of them definitely are.
So a little bit of color on Alta. So in 1874, an 1874 Gazetteer listed 75 businesses in Alta. Restaurants, billiard halls, a Chinese laundry, general stores, and 28 saloons.
I love that they have to specify the laundry's Chinese.
Yeah, well, at the time, it was very common to have Chinese laundry because there were a lot of Chinese immigrants in the West who came to work the railroads.
Yep.
And then they diversified into other businesses as they went. So they were very involved in many mining camps.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a variety of things, including some of the mining themselves. But there were 20, I was wrong, there were 26 saloons, not 28. So 5,000 residents, 26 saloons, so they could all drink together every night.
That makes sense, yep.
You know, I imagine, so you think about this ski town and how pretty it is and picturesque and all the luxury things they have. They have a beautiful spa up here. There's a very nice resort hotel with a pool. But imagine the boom camp. How would have that smelled and looked differently?
It's a complete 180.
Yeah.
Complete 180. I mean, you got the miners who aren't showering because that's not convenient.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's poor because they're just trying to make a living.
Think about sanitation, plumbing.
Oh, no, there is none.
Yeah, I mean, the creek's going to be dirty.
Yeah, well, the creek is your bathing, your toilet, your your fresh water, all of that.
Yeah, so definitely very different. And then all the drinking and everything going on.
I wonder what the
Loud.
miners would have thought that now this canyon is a watershed.
They would laugh, because I'm sure there's plenty of reasons it shouldn't be a watershed based on what they did up here. But
That was a long time ago.
very,
Things have been
very
cleaned up.
different. So there was a scandal up here that actually almost caused a war between the United States and Great Britain at the Emma mine, which is what made the Emma mine famous. So the Emma was discovered in 1868 by two prospectors named Woodman and Chisholm. The Emma mine was named after a woman that one of them had known in San Francisco, potentially a romantic interest or someone interesting that would be worth reading and learning a little more about. So named the Emma after a woman one of them had known. It doesn't say whether it was Woodman or Chisholm. Lacking capital, which we all do in mining, they sold a 1/3 interest to speculator James E. Lyon. So James Lyon took a 1/3 interest so that they could get capital to do the work. The ore turned out to be sensationally rich. Its reputation in 1871 to 1872 was unsurpassed by anything in the U.S. except the Comstock, which was the big Virginia City lode in Nevada, which was huge at the time in the late 1860s. So the ore was sensationally rich and also sensationalized by many promoters, stock promoters and otherwise.
That never happens in mining.
So that gets us to the scam. In spring 1871, promoters, including Nevada Senator William M. Stewart, attempted to sell the worked out mine. So discovered in 1868, worked out by 1871.
Not a long life.
Not a long life. They attempted to send the worked out mine to British investors, with Stewart claiming it could fetch $5 to $8 million, which was a huge amount of money at the time.
Oh yeah.
U.S. Minister to England Robert C. Scenic partnered with mine owner Trevor W. Park to organize the scheme. And by the time they schemed to sell, they knew there was very little silver left. The fallout. The exhaustion of the Emma ore body led to the recall of American ambassador to Great Britain, who was a director of the company, and congressional hearings in Washington. Rumors even spread that the scandal could spark armed conflict, though British threats to sue never materialized, fortunately. It ended as a war of words and a historic embarrassment for the United States, which is long forgotten now, but quite interesting at the time.
Yes.
It's what put the Emma on the map.
Yes.
So a little bit more, the interesting thing is the Emma was actually drained by the Wasatch Drain Tunnel that connects into the Emma workings. And we were fortunate enough to get a tour with one of the directors of the Water Conservancy that actually supplies town for the water of Alta through the Emma mine and through the drain tunnel. So today it's an important source of drinking water.
Yeah.
For the town.
I mean, there's a lot of water in there too.
An enormous amount of water. So little interesting footnote about the Emma and the Wasatch Drain Tunnel, and some cool pictures of us taking a tour, which was a lot of fun. Being a remote, at the time, mining camp in a narrow canyon, they had plenty of problems with fire, snow, and collapses. In August 1878, fire destroyed much of Alta. The town was never completely rebuilt, and very little of the original structures actually remain today, unfortunately. In February 1855, a number of years later, a snowstorm and resulting avalanche killed 15 people and buried Main Street under 50 feet of snow.
Oh my goodness.
Which basically shut the whole town again. And then mining went dormant after 1885, partially because of that snowstorm. It revived again around the turn of the century with reports of big strikes being found, and then died out again by the 1920s. Classic boom and bust cycle that you see today. And, there's a lot of these cycles. Just in our little, short, almost 20 years in mining, think about the boom and bust cycles that we've seen, ranging from like the very short vanadium cycle that was boom and bust for like a month to like the
overnight
lithium cycle where we've had a couple of them. the big frac sand boom, 2012, 13, 14, 15, then it was over.
A little bit of uranium in there.
Uranium, and then steady throughout, we've seen copper rise.
Copper has been quite steady.
Which has been interesting. Undoubtedly, there's still plenty of ore up the canyon today, but given its new status as a high-end ski resort and town,
it's
probably not a lot of exploration. But it's worth noting that much of the private land here in the canyon is old patented mining claims, and you can see an old mine dump right behind us. So, as the mines were abandoned, a little bit of how they transitioned. As the mines were abandoned, George Watson found himself the sole resident of Alta and declared himself mayor. By 1922, Mayor Watson was running the old rail line as the Alta Scenic Railway. Yes, they had a rail line all the way up here from the base of the canyon. It was very steep. He was running the Alta Scenic Railway, promoting tourism with underground tours of the old Emma mine, and much like the one that we got to do, which was really cool. And basically this miner pivoted to promoting mine tourism before it was cool, as a way to bring people up the canyon, bring interest and make some money. In 1937, to ease his tax burden, which we all need to do, Watson deeded 700 acres of surface rights to the U.S. Forest Service for use as a ski area, and William O'Connor of Wasatch Mines deeded another 900 acres. Alf Engen was brought in to help develop the area, famous skier, well-known guy, and Alta opened its first lift in 1938.
Wow.
Right here, 1938.
1938.
Yep, so
wow.
Over 150 years, it went from early boom and bust camp and early development to a railroad to now a very successful ski area.
Almost 100-year-old ski camp.
But it started by the miners, and the miners actually made the transition to a ski resort, which is pretty cool. In January 1939, 300 skiers paid 25 cents each to ride the Collins chairlift for the first time.
What would they say if they saw a ski lift ticket today? What would they say?
Oh, 25 cents?
Do you think they'd have a heart attack?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Go on the other side to Park City.
A discount ticket up here is at least $150 on a good day.
Yeah, and what if you go to the other side?
I'll go to Park City. You could pay up to $300.
Yeah.
It was 25 cents at the time. And we won't talk about devaluation or currency or anything. We'll save that for another episode where we talk about metals. So a little bit about it. The canyon is quite narrow and it's very prone to avalanches, and there are several on big snow years that shut down the canyon. They close the gates. So this has actually been a place for developing the science of avalanche forecasting and control. It's really was essentially born here at Alta, avalanche forecasting control, which is an interesting science angle. Every ski area that uses avalanche safety protocols today traces its lineage right here, which is cool. Another little
that is
thing for all the ski bums. I know a lot of us in mining enjoy skiing. The avalanches that destroyed the mining town became the reason Alta pioneered the field. Even the Snow Pine Lodge sits on the remains of the Stillwell store from Alta's mining days. You can actually go in the basement of the Snow Pine Lodge, and they have the old building there, and you can see where the old bank vault was, and they have the old foundation, and they're happy to take you down there and show it to you if you ever go in and ask about it.
That's cool.
They've turned it into a very nice spa. So, I think the big takeaway from this episode is mining doesn't disappear, it transforms.
Yeah, right.
Alta's mining area literally built the foundation for what came next: the roads, the rail grades, the infrastructure, and eventually the skiing when they donated the land to the Forest Service. And it just shows that multiple land uses can occur on the same areas, and potentially even some cool scientific developments.
Right, just because there was a mine here doesn't mean the land is ruined forever. I mean, we've seen that on a few different sites in Utah.
Yep.
I mean, just on the other side of the hill, you have Park City. That was an old mining camp.
Yep. Park City was an old mining camp.
Yeah.
And Park City, very interesting place. We've talked a little bit about it on some of our episodes. We were in the parade last year. Part of the Friends of Ski Mountain Mining History, which helps preserve mining structures over in Park City. It's gone through several different lives, from an early ranching and logging camp to a bustling mining camp that established the Hearst Empire that William Randolph Hearst and others used to develop other areas and really develop other sciences and technologies, and then became a ghost town again in the 1980s, basically, and then went all the way back to a very high-end place now where the average home is probably $3 to $5 million,
Right.
which is wild. So I'm asking you, our dear watchers and listeners, what's your favorite ghost town and where should we profile next when we do another little mining history episode? Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time for episode 79 of Mine Explorers.